And monitoring purposes. I love how you highlighted this because again, like, why are we monitoring? There might be a lot of reasons for this. And maybe you have been monitoring, and when you spot different things, you will deal with it. But it doesn't hurt to make it more conscious and to write it into your lesson plan as well.
Yeah.
A bit more consciously, whether it's gonna be just to check whether students are on task at all. Sometimes they aren't, because we did a poor job setting up the activity. If we didn't write our instructions very carefully, if we didn't rehearse them. This was definitely my problem before the Delta and at the beginning of the. My instructions were long-winded and complex and confusing. And I had to really get into the habit of writing them out, practicing them, and then making sure I wrote an ICQ, an instruction checking question, and wrote down how I'm planning to demo it. So whether I'm gonna show like this is very, or whether I'm gonna ask a learner to do the first one for us, or there are many ways to demo as well. So, but it all had to be made more conscious and more planned to tidy this up for me. We might also monitor to check language errors, to check for language errors with the target language, and we might decide to correct it on the spot. To avoid fossilization. We might check for language errors, but decide not to touch it. Maybe because it's a kind of a freer stage, or maybe because it's not such a dangerous error. So these are judgment territories, judgment calls. But if we pick up on something crucial and all of them are repeating it, and then we might not wait until the feedback stage, group feedback or whatnot.
Well, I have a a notebook, a little paper notebook that I have with me during each class, so I can take notes while I'm monitoring. And I just have one for each semester, just so I can. Obviously, I can't remember everything. If I don't feel it's necessary to deal with immediately, then I at least have a record. I can go back to it and possibly deal with it later. So
that's very useful, partly because it's not only who's likely not going to remember everything, but often the learners, if they are in the heat of a debate or a discussion, or are so overwhelmed cognitively by just trying to execute the task, that if we provide them with feedback, either on the spot or delayed, often they are not gonna remember or notice that they made that error. Have you experienced this, that you're trying to error correct and they're like, they're so immersed? Thankfully, that's a good sign. That means we created a really engaging activity and whatnot. But that can come at the expense of them not noticing that there is some actual correction that you're trying to pull off. So that's when taking notes and then using it, following up on the exercise, putting stuff in writing, and collecting similar errors together, and then drawing their attention. Look, this is kind of similar to what somebody else in another group said that I overheard. Look, and then chances are they're going to notice it much better, which is amazing news, because I repeat, it will mean that they were so busy communicating that they kind of got distracted from the language, something that is applaudable and to aim for generally. But it will depend on the learner. Some learners are more accuracy first and communication second, or vice versa. A lot of it has to do with culture as well. When I was teaching Colombian and Italian students, it was it was communication all over the place. But when I was, wonderful, thank you. However, You know, we don't say it with, and like, you know, it doesn't matter. What I meant is this and the other. And I was like, I don't know how to help them notice, because we are so engaged and on such a low level already. We are communicating, which is yay, but it's the other extreme. So
Right.
finding a happy medium perhaps is what we should aim for. To encourage weaker or less talkative learners as well. Sometimes the more domineering ones might take over in group work, and that's kind of more of a policing role to monitor, not so much a language one, not so much a language resource one, but more of a classroom management point, I think. To feed in some topic or language prompts, especially if you're doing a task-based lesson, for example, and to be available for learners. So that's like a walking resource, and to upgrade and feed in new language, maintain discipline. Did you have any comments on these? Did you think of any others that I forgot to include here?
No, I think it's pretty clear.